This is Will ability block, and you know that you are because you have a book that you want to promote, or an event or an offer or program, and you're not doing it. You're not marketing the way that you want to. You're not putting yourself out there the way that you want to. So I'm going to use a specific example from a client that I worked with recently, and hopefully this can help you to illuminate what is your specific limiting belief that's coming up that's getting in the way. Because I always notice that it starts general. You think that it's a visibility block, or you think that it's the fear of being seen, or you think that it's the fear of success or failure. But it always comes down to something very specific. And in this video, you're going to see an example of that. And then I'm going to give you a practice that you can use so you can begin to identify your own specific limiting belief. And then if you need more support with that, then of course you might want to reach out to me, because it's tough. Like, even for me doing this on my own, I can see a fair amount, but I usually need to work with someone else to see the exact specific limiting belief. But hopefully this video is enough to get you started. So let's dive in. So this author wrote a book, was very excited, self-published, and has been trying to promote it, but has been stuck, stifled, not able to do it. And when we had our session, it began with, all she could say was that she was being indecisive, that she, and I was looking at my notes here, that she had a concern she wasn't allowing her success, she was having trouble with confidence, wasn't feeling very free to move forward. And we got into some general beliefs around not feeling good enough, not fitting in, fear of rejection. So that started to get a bit more specific. But it wasn't until all of a sudden in the middle of the session that, as if plucking a feather out of the air, that I saw the specific direction of what was really coming up. And it was related to overwhelm. So down below this video, I'm going to give you access to one of the pillars of the 8 pillars of the imposter complex on overwhelm. And some of the questions you can ask yourself if you're noticing that you're feeling overwhelmed when it comes to your book launch or promotions or whatever visibility work you're doing. If you're noticing that procrastination, that overwhelm, that practice is going to help. And I'll run you through it at the end of this video. So I saw very clearly what was going on. And the reason I was able to see it is because we began by clearing some of the general things. So we did some belief clearing around not feeling good enough and not fitting in and rejection and all of that. And as we did that, opened up the space to see something more specific. So the example I always use is with my wife. She'll say in the kitchen, because I do all I wash all the dishes, and she'll be making dinner and she'll say, "Oh, where's the such and such knife or the potato peeler, whatever it is?" And I always say, well, if we just spend a minute tidying up first, we'll find it. But she likes to rummage through everything. So I'll come in and I'll start putting things away. And within a minute, sometimes 2, I'll find the thing that she needs. And the kitchen will be a little bit tidier. And I find that same thing happens with my daughter in the house, and for me as well. If I'm missing something, I just begin cleaning up, and right as rain, I find it. So the same thing happens with belief clearing. As we begin clearing the general stuff and whatever we can see that is coming up, then we see what the specific thing is. And for this client, it was related to overwhelm. And it was this question that I have from the PDF, and I'm just going to read it here on overwhelm. So one of the roots of overwhelm is taking on too much responsibility for things and for people. Things in your family, things in the world, even things outside of your objective control. So with this client, what came up was that she was actually trying to heal her mom. She'd had a lot of things happen with her mom early on in life, and she'd spent a lot of time taking care of her mom, a lot of time trying to heal her mom. And now she was doing that, call it mentally, energetically. And so she was afraid that if her book got too big and if she got too visible, then her mom would kind of not come after her. Her mom was never violent in that way, but that it would bring up a lot of challenging emotions. And so the specific belief that we got to, and the specific belief that we cleared, was the belief that the more that you it's a lot of energy on this. I'm going to make it slightly more general so that for you watching it can be helpful. And when we do this belief clearing, you can either say a yes or a no and see if you're willing to have this energy shift and this belief shift. So the belief that the more you materialize in your work and in your business, the more that would you be willing to destroy that at the point of creation? Let's run that one again, shall we? The belief that the more you materialize in your work or business, the more you'll trigger people negatively. Would you be willing to destroy that at the point of creation? Now, you may trigger people negatively. I certainly have. Many business owners certainly have. But this is about the belief that it has to be that way, that it has to happen, that it's going to happen. There's that terrible analogy of, when the crab tries to crawl out of the bucket and the other crabs pull it back in, which I think isn't true. I should look it up, but I heard somewhere that that's actually not what crabs do in a bucket. Anyways, it was enough to plant the seed of doubt in my mind that it's not true. So, but it's certainly not true in my life and in my experience. When I have successes in my life, I do not notice people trying to tear me down. I just have noticed that sometimes in my business, I will trigger people negatively, but it doesn't mean that it has to happen. So the belief that it has to happen, that's what we're working on clearing right now. So the practice that you can do at home, and I'll put it in the comments below, the question around overwhelm. So where are you where are you taking on too much responsibility for things, for your family, for things in the world, for people? Where are you taking too much responsibility? So let that question percolate, see who or what comes up, and then you can formulate that as a belief clearing question. And if you need support with that or help with that, reach out to me in the comments and I'd be happy to help. So this is Will with My Spiritual Clarity. Do please like the video down below. Subscribe, of course, so you can find and see more videos about clearing specific beliefs all around visibility and the imposter complex and something I call the helper's paradox, but I'll have to leave that for another video. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.